Jeff Van Gundy, ESPN NBA analyst. They will have three marquee matchups on Christmas Day. Highlighted by LeBron James going back to Miami. The Cavs visit the Heat. It'll be Jeff and Mark Jackson, Mike Breen, Doris Burke calling all the action on ABC at 5 Eastern. And Jeff joins us now. Hi, Coach. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Spectacular. Spectacular. We were talking about when, guys like John Gruden, Bill Cowher, where you leave for a little while and then decide to come back or don't come back. Is there sort of a window of opportunity where if you don't come back during that window, then they don't want you, or you won't take that job?
That's a great question. I think just like you get adjusted to the coaching lifestyle, you can get adjusted out of the coaching lifestyle. And a lot of those guys, Bill Cowher and John Gruden, I think could have jobs if they made it be known that they wanted jobs. But if they don't, I think it's very easy to let people know without having to issue a statement for the media that, you're happy in the life you're living right now and the job you have. And, both those guys seem very content. They're outstanding at what they do. And yet I don't think you ever eliminate coaching completely from your life.
Have you?
Well, again, I think Coach Cowher is probably a little bit older, but there is a point, and I think I'm going to be 53. I should know, but I'm going to be 53 in January, and I think John is around the same age. I think maybe a little bit younger, but at some point you have to make a decision because it involves a move. It involves getting back into much more of that is your life. It's not just coaching. It becomes your lifestyle is coaching because that's what you think about 24 hours a day when you're a head coach in a professional sport. And so it's a major undertaking, and you have to understand you don't just get the good parts of coaching when you go into it. You also have to accept that there are some negatives.
How do you fill the void of not being a coach?
You don't. You'll never replace the competition and camaraderie that you get, particularly after a great road win. Those first 5 minutes after a great road win, particularly in the playoffs, can't be replicated. And when you do it with a coaching staff that you really like and players that you admire and respect, there's no greater feeling than a great road win.
He's Jeff Van Gundy. He'll be working on Christmas Day. He's got the Cavaliers in Miami. What kind of reception does LeBron get, should LeBron get?
Well, I think the vocal minority will boo. I think the smarter majority will realize that 4-year period of time in Miami Heat basketball was by far and away more successful than I think anybody could have imagined. 4 straight finals, 2 championships, and I think they will. And I think this is how you should do it. You should standing ovation before the game when he's introduced, and then root like heck for your own team once the game begins, and boo him every time he touches the ball. But they have to, or I don't have to, but they should, I think, and I think the majority will acknowledge the incredible achievement that he helped organize there in Miami during that 4-year period. A terrific accomplishment for everybody.
How do you think Pat Riley will greet LeBron James?
Well, I don't even know if he will. Again, when you're in management, unless you go out of your way to seek that contact and go down on the floor before the game, if he's shooting before the game, or go back into their locker room after the game, they would have no reason to interact. So I'm not sure, Coach Riley and LeBron James will run into each other there. But I think even if they don't, the mutual admiration and respect for how each one of them helped each other out, I think will far overshadow how James left.
Rajon Rondo's place among point guards. We were discussing it last week after the trade. I didn't think he was still a top 5 point guard. I don't know if that matters or not, but where do you see Rondo in the pantheon of point guards here?
See, I agree with you. I don't think it matters where you rank him in point guards. I think all that matters is that he's the right fit for Dallas. And I'm going to be very interested. Dallas has the best rated offense per possession in the league. I'm interested in how Rondo fits in. Does he keep them at that same level? Does he hurt them? Does he help them? How does he space the floor when Monte Ellis and Nowitzki are on the floor? Will there be a hack of Rondo because he's been such a poor free throw shooter this year? Defensively and rebounding, he should be a major upgrade. Whether that is a net positive, that's the beauty of it. No one knows. I think Boston did well. They got some serviceable players. And then, the draft pick, you never know how that's going to work out. But obviously, Danny Ainge didn't feel waiting longer would have netted him something more. So, listen, I'm as interested as anybody to see the impact Rondo has on Dallas. And I don't think it's a given that it's necessarily all positive. I think there's going to be some positive and quite possibly some things that they have to adjust.
I was listening to the Barkley Reggie Miller game when they had Bulls and Knicks, and Barkley's tweaking Phil Jackson a little bit, and Phil didn't respond favorably. Should Phil have a sense of humor about this? Can you have a sense of humor when you're brought in to be, big chief savior here, and it's going horribly wrong?
Well, I think, he's been there coming up on a year. And listen, everybody gets judged in this game. Management, coaches, players. Often it's harsh. Often it's unfounded and unwarranted, but it is part of the job. And listen, I didn't really see what his Coach Jackson's replies were, but I thought Charles's comments were very lighthearted, obviously. Listen, everybody who's ever coached or played in the NBA has great respect for Phil Jackson's coaching brilliance. And no matter that he had the best players, when you win, every time you should win in a playoff series, that's an incredible accomplishment. So the thing that I think Charles was saying, I said a little bit earlier in the year, and it's no knock on anybody, is that this league is about players. It's not about systems. It's not about coaches. Coaches are vitally important. They're probably 10% of a reason maybe a team wins or loses. But you have to have the right players. And when you are 5-25, I think Derek Fisher is going to be an outstanding coach. I think Phil Jackson knows the exact type of players he wants. But when you're 5-25, you're either very injured, and they had some injuries, or you have the wrong guys. And there's only two, or you're very young, and they're not very young. So listen, they just don't have the right guys right now.
Yeah, they're bad and they're injured. How many titles would you have won with the Jordan Bulls if you were coaching?
I don't know. That's a great. You want to have the confidence that you could have helped a great player. But listen, I think once you say you could have won 2, it minimizes what Phil Jackson did. Listen, the woulda, coulda, shoulda game. We played them in a lot of series, and I had a Hall of Fame player too, in Patrick Ewing. We just couldn't get over the top, and I give him a lot of credit. I give Jordan and Pippen and all those guys a lot of credit because we had some great teams when Pat Riley was there, and then when I was the head coach, we had great teams led by a superior leader and player. But we just could never get over the hump in a critical game. So I think you can both, Dan. I think you can say both. This notion, I think the triangle's gotten too much credit for the Bulls and Lakers' success, but Phil Jackson didn't get enough credit. I think oftentimes people reduced Phil Jackson's contributions just to the triangle. And I think that was very short-sighted. I think he did some very good things defensively. I think he was terrific with the great players and getting them to play unselfish basketball. And so I think, you can say both, that the triangle was a bit overrated in their success, and Phil Jackson's brilliance as a coach was underrated.
Could you take Phil right now in a fight?
Well, what is he, 70?
Yeah.
That would be one non-confrontational playground brawl. Because I'd be rope-a-doping, and I'm not sure he could catch me with those bad wheels that he's got. So that wouldn't be a fight that would sell on pay-per-view, I'll tell you that.
Okay, but we can't get Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, so this...
I thought that was May 2nd.
Oh.
They haven't agreed yet?
I don't know. Maybe you guys on the undercard.
No, you know what? Here's the thing. Like, I think he dislikes me more than I like listening to the guy and watching this guy's how he does his
Why
thing.
does he dislike you?
I don't know. I think when you compete against guys, usually you like the guys that...
Yeah, but he beats you, though,
I
Jeff.
know, that's what I'm saying. I must be particularly irritating when you can both beat me and hate me simultaneously. Yeah.
Safe travels down to Miami. Give my best to Brini and of course, Mark. And Merry Christmas. Thank you, Jeff.
You too, Dan. Take care.
All right, Jeff Van Gundy.